limiter on the side.
Yeah. So the TRD version is in the center, which is like super cool.
Oh, okay.
You know, you feel the downshifting on the auto. So downshift.
Oh, wow.
Do a little bit of cornering here.
Woo! Man, that
It feels good, right? It's very nice and
the corner's super smooth.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow. That's cool.
It's very fun. For what this car is, it's very fun, I have to say. And you need a manual to do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though it's more desirable and I kind of want one too, I mean, I never get bored of that. I really don't.
It's a great handling car, huh?
Oh yeah, it really is. Now maybe like on the end limits of like what it's capable of, maybe it's not as good as other cars, but in this like middle range of like street driving and grip, it's like perfectly dialed. I think this chassis was perfectly done to do just that.
The perfect street car. The perfect street car.
In my opinion, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna start tracking it and we'll see what it really could do. I'll get better tires and whatnot, and we'll see. Hopefully it's pretty good. Anyway, let's do a pull. It still has more to go, which is crazy.
Alright everyone, welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. Today we have Eryck, returning guest. Thank you so much for making the time for us, man. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
What do you drive this time?
Alright, so this time I'm bringing a 2001 Lexus IS300.
2001 Lexus, man, this car, like I told you, when the first time I saw it was Gran Turismo, and we got it as a when you won the race, right. We got one, and it was a two-door, and we have never seen one, and ever since then I fell in love with them. So
definitely,
yeah, can't wait to hear the story on this one. For those that may not know, when did you get started into cars? Like, when do you think that was the moment that was your thing?
This car was the reason I got into cars, believe it or not. So the first interview you did was a CRX, and that car gave me the foundation for understanding cars to a detail level. But this was my first car. I had this right out of high school, or actually in high school still, and it was my grandmother's. Oh. And she drove me around in it when I was a little kid. So we owned this in the family since 2004, right in the beginning of 2004. They bought it off, a lease, 2-year lease. Someone returned it from a 2-year lease. They bought it. Funny story, she actually got an ES at first, but thought it was too big, so she got an IS. So that's how the family ended up with this car. And so yeah, God bless my grandma, for choosing this, because it's probably her fault that I got into this.
Thanks, Grandma.
But yeah, and I just driving around in it, I was like, this is so cool. I just feel so good in it. It was so sporty. My grandma would be like, hey, look how good it handles. She would like manji it, like not really, but kind of just like do this a little bit, and just she's like, she's old. She was like 80s, like driving this car. It's hilarious.
She got tased. What are you talking about?
Yeah. And so yeah, this was it. Like I just thought this car was so good looking, so cool. It was everything I just thought was like good in a car. 4 doors. You could it's very practical but sporty. It looked good. Like there's nothing you could go wrong. It's reliable. Like there's no flaws. It's the perfect car in my head.
Car. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get it for your 16th birthday or what?
So I got it. Yeah. So pretty much. The story was that my grandma, she wasn't driving as much, and the car wasn't being well taken care of. Which is normal when people get older. So there was a lot of issues with it too. A lot of leaking oil. This and that. Bodywork is messed up. So we ended up just buying it from her, and then buying her a Toyota Corolla that she could kind of, not take, you don't have to take care of those as much, because they're so cheap. And so we bought it, and then yeah, that was basically it. And my grandma always said, this is going to be your car, when you could drive. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. Like I was super, but I'm obviously very lucky. Like there's no doubt about it. I'm spoiled and lucky in this regard. I mean, no one really, this is like the rich kid's like first car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you were that kid.
Yeah, I'm the only child that gets all spoiled in that sense, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, I can't help it, but
I'm sorry,
but I'm so
How
grateful.
dare you?
I'm so grateful. Like this is it's amazing. So yeah.
That's good. Well, at least you appreciate it, and that's the most important part. So you pick up this car. So this is your first car.
This first one ever, yeah.
That's amazing, dude. So now, how many years of ownership you said?
So ever since 2011. Okay. So yeah, that'd be 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
Or no, just over 11 years now.
Yeah, a little bit over 10 years. What is the vision for it now?
My vision right now? Boy. Well, right now, I mean, ultimately, I'm building this car to be just a cool daily driver. I mean, the ultimate street car, kind of, you know, kind of a word I coined from that Optima challenge. After seeing, I don't remember the name, I'm sorry, but it's like a kind of a matte gray with blue accents Civic hatch that I'm sure a lot of people have seen. Unfortunately, I don't know much details other than that. After seeing that car and realizing like that it has full interior sound system, it still hits the track, I was like, yeah, this is like what I want in a car.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I want with this. I want to be able to take this to the track. I want to be able to drive it to work. I want to be able to do everything in it with a cool car that I like, you know, that's, you know, still
Are you describing an Accord?
Yes.
No. Okay.
Basically a Toyota version of Accord. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, man. I mean, it's a great looking car, and I think that the aesthetic and the performance touches that you've added, it gives it even more of an aggressive look and performance base. So let's have a little chat about it.
Yeah.
Tell us, has the car been resprayed?
Yes.
Oh, really?
This car, okay, so last year I did a complete overhaul. So, and I'll show you when we look in the interior, I'll show you a little picture of how the car used to look. I have a little Polaroid. This car was basically just, for the longest time, ever since I got it, right out of high school, I bought coilovers for it, got an exhaust, and that was about it.
The necessities.
Yeah, the necessities. What I didn't really know much, so I was like, I can't really afford much. I only worked at a bike shop at the time. I could only buy like a couple stuff, you know what I mean? So I saved up for coilovers. I had an exhaust that was custom fabricated for me from like the place I was working at. Some guy just had one laying around. I was like, okay, I'll show you. That's kind of cool. And yeah, so but the problem was I got rear-ended twice. Not like anything major that like would salvage title it. No damage to like the actual like structure, but the bumper cover got messed up, and they had to like blend it into the quarter panels and whatnot. Also, the dealer, when I was getting this car serviced I had a major issue one time regarding oxygen sensors, and I didn't want to do that myself since it was so deep in the engine bay. So I took it to the dealer, and they actually ripped the front bumper off by accident. And so, you know, and this paint was a pearl paint, an 01 specific pearl paint, and they blended it really bad both times they repaired it. So you can see it was different shades of yellow, like the pearl gives a yellow tint to it, at least on this color. And yeah, I hated it. Also, like on the hard edges right here, the clear coat was peeling. It was just, I hated driving it. Just aesthetically does not look right to me. So I said, let's just go ahead and overhaul the whole car and do what I want. I figured it's cheaper building this the way I want with the money I'm spending than buying like a new Accord or BMW or anything like that. That's equivalent class. It's way cheaper doing it this way.
And by the way, it holds nostalgic, you know. Yeah.
Emotions. And I don't want any other car. This is everything, you know, I've had this so long, like I'm familiar with it. Why get something else, you know?
So what did you end up paying it?
So this is Toyota 040. This is basically what color this car came in Japan. Oh. So Toyota 040 it's called Super White number 2. I painted it this color, in fact, because it's the closest thing to the original Pearl. In fact, I'm pretty sure the 01 Pearl was Toyota 040 with just Pearl added to it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And you can see that if you look in the door jambs, it doesn't look like that's original Pearl in there, but you can't tell.
Oh, you can't tell the difference.
At all. That's what it
is.
You know what I mean? So that's what it looks like to me. But you can see the pearl flakes in there if you look closely, you know? Yeah, it's a little bit darker, but.
No, it looks great. It doesn't look out of place, so that's good.
Yeah, and it was a cheap color too. Like let's say I want for body kits, this and that, if I can get any damage, it'll be way cheaper.
Oh, because you can find it, no problem.
You don't have to blend it, you can just color match it right to the panel. You don't have to be as fancy with the paint, so it's cheaper. And especially if I'm gonna drive this car like crazy the rest of my life, this is the plan. You gotta have a cheap paint, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, well, you gotta, you know, touch it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So what have you done to the front end? Because I know this is not the way Grandma built it.
No, yeah. So it was bone stock, of course, you know, for the longest time, and it was pretty beat up, you know, unfortunately, like a lot of dents and stuff on it, like on the hood, and resulting from like a hood that was really damaged, and you know, the fender was like really messed up, like on the body lines here and stuff. I decided let's just go ahead and do a body kit on it, because to buy the body kit, it's what I want to do anyway, and you know. It'll cost a lot of money to repair what's already there. So I went ahead and got everything from ChargeSpeed USA. Oof. And then
any major additional changes you're gonna do to the outside?
Yeah, so nothing major. I mean, this is kind of where it's at. So yeah, basically what we have here is the hood and everything, the eyelets, everything's charge speed.
Oh, even the eyelets, okay.
Yeah, I think this is actually my own design part here, by the way. I wanted to point that out.
Oh, nice.
So it matches the taillight covers in the back. So I made a little fog light cover to match the rear, and kind of covers up the kind of ugly fog light, because you can see it's all cracked and getting old now, since it's the original.
And so you do all those 3D...
yeah, so it started off as a 3D print that I made out of, that's a fiberglass end product now.
That's a fiberglass?
Yeah. That's all, yeah. So I've been exploring through my side business, Project EQP, I've been exploring fiberglass lately. So
wow.
A lot of parts are fiberglass parts now, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, going to the rear, this is still all charge speed. So this is, except this piece, this is OEM TRD.
Oh, this is OEM TRD.
Or I don't know if it's TRD or just a Toyota option, but
it's OEM.
It's OEM.
I thought you made this piece.
No, this is OEM.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I really love the taillight covers on this car. You'll see this on a lot of these. It's cool because it kind of gives it another dimension, where it kind of gives it a bit of a depth, almost like an infinity taillight that you see now. Kind of gives it that depth. And I've always liked it. My buddy on his wagon had one. I just fell in love with it, and I was like, you know what, I need this on my car. At night it looks so cool to me. So yeah, I think the only piece I'm going to do to the rear is there's a trunk filler that came from TRD Japan. Basically, it was like a fake carbon piece that kind of filled up this like kind of gap. The reason why it's gap here is because of the European market, you know, to fit their license plates. But in Japan, they had this garnish that like kind of filled it in here, and the license plate came out slightly more.
Wow.
I have the original, but it's fake carbon. I don't like it. I want to paint match it, and so I'm gonna make a fiberglass copy of that and paint it and everything, and that'll be the final piece for the rear end. Yeah, and this is a Tom's
beautiful
rear
little
spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this because it goes with the side skirts well. Yeah, maybe it's not like the best looking spoiler, but it's cool. It's their first, Altezza, or Tom's made several stuff for the Altezza in Japan, which is the IS300. And this was the first spoiler they made for this car. So it's a pretty rare piece now, but it's really cool looking. There's a lot of little details I like, how it kind of goes with the trunk, and kind of like the line continues up here. Same with this trunk line, it kind of continues right here, this line.
Wow.
Little details I really like.
Wow,
and
that's creative.
Kind of goes with the side skirt too, if you see. It has that kind of a, that body line there.
Yep.
Okay, anyway, so now that we're in the car, all comfortable, I wanted to show you, this is kind of what is really cool about this car. So this, as you know, this is sold as the Altezza in Japan, and the amount of aftermarket support was really awesome. So this car was involved in a lot of one-make series racing, and you can see that in these books here. So this is kind of like the Bible in my opinion. Although it's all in Japanese, you could translate it with modern technology now, using just the image capturing on Google. And I was able to learn so much, and all the parts and all the stuff that's still available, and we can just kind of get a quick look, but you can see how extensive it is, and all the cool body kits they made for this car, and all of like the demo cars. I mean, everyone made their own. See, back in the early 2000s, everyone made their own body kits, and I think body kits are so cool because it really gives a different look to the car. Yeah. And the amount of work that's involved to making this stuff it's not easy, And I think we've lost that appreciation a little bit, for how much you could change a car, and how much work that goes into it. So yeah, here's like all the body kit section, and all the wings you could buy, and all it's just so cool. It was so supported. Nowadays it's not really much like this. A lot of stuff got discontinued because no one really buys that stuff in America anymore. You know? Times are changing. Yeah. So
sadly, we like that stuff.
But yeah, I love body kits. I think they're something that's just a lost appreciation. Maybe people don't like the style. I understand, but.
This is your website?
Yeah, this is my website. So I had several of the parts I make for this car. Are listed on there.
And for the EF as well.
Yeah,
right?
And for the EF chassis, yeah. So
now are you willing to do other cars?
I'm willing to do other cars, but I still have a 9-to-5, so I'm very limited on the amount of work I could do. But I'm always open to more stuff, if there's a desire for it.
Pricey, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, my parts are not particularly the cheapest parts, so I try to keep it very limited, just because I don't have much time, to work on this stuff.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And tell us about the exhaust system.
So the exhaust, this is that custom muffler I was telling you about. So my exhaust system is basically bone stock. I want to keep it pretty quiet. The exhaust, there was some guy who was making custom exhaust. Basically, you could make them yourself. You just kind of I guess the guy was able to buy the raw materials. You can modify them and whatnot and weld them up together. And so it's just like I don't know who makes it. I don't remember,
It's been a long time.
But yeah, it's been too long. But it's kind of cool because if you look on the inside, like the baffleding's like spiraled. It's kind of cool. Like you'll never, a detail that no one will ever see, but I know it's there, so it's really cool. It's like really it's just really weird looking on the inside.
Yeah.
So
that's fast.
It's not bad for what it is.
No,
that's a nice corner. I'm taking Gus on a ride.
You have a bucket, I don't.
Oh, sorry, don't follow me.
Wow. Now this is like cliche corner for that channel. Wow.
It just feels really good, you know?
It looks solid. It feels solid. Man.
And it rotates really well with the sway bars and everything on it. You know?
This is a fun car.
It's fun, yeah.
This now I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it kind of just does what you want. You know, I can still shift the gears.
And there's a sport mode, right?
Yeah, the sport mode, it's actually a power mode. So you can take a look there.
Oh, okay, power mode.
So reflectors here for like the for rain and wind and whatnot. This is an OEM product, which is really cool. You can still see the Altezza badge because they never had this an option in America. So there's the Altezza like logo engraved in there.
I love the clearness of the window visor. It's not dark.
Yeah, it's really nice. A beautiful color. I liked it. Very, yeah.
Then the mirrors.
Oh yeah, so let me talk about the mirrors real quick. I just finished this project and I wanted to finish it before we did this interview. So these mirrors are actually charge speed mirrors, but they did not make it for this car. They made it for actually a different chassis altogether. But because I'm kind of friendly with the Charge Speed USA guys since I bought the whole kit from them, he went ahead and was like, you know, he went like, here, like look at all the mirrors and see like which one you think you can mount to your car. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So we went through all the mirrors and we found out this is the housing that worked. But there's a big caveat to it. For one, there's no way to mount it to the car, you know, because it's just the mirror housing itself. And the lens for the mirror was like really not good at all. And I'm sorry to say that, it was pretty trash. What it was like an oval shape that was had no curvature to it, so you couldn't see anything out of it. And it didn't look really that good either. So I said, you know, I want to run this on my car, but I have to like modify it extensively. So I went ahead, cut the front face off, so give it like kind of like a spoon mirror. It has like that open face to it. And I cut my own mirror that I ordered from China. So I got some convex lens, or cut it myself, which is very hard, but I figured it out. I also designed my own like pivoting mechanism, and you can see that on my Instagram. I kind of did like a little like highlight story thing on there. So I made my own pivot mechanism and bonded like a fiberglass mounting, you know, and all that, and then painted it. And then to mount it on the car, this is my own fiberglass piece, you know, that I sell on the Project EKP. So it's a mirror adapter plate that you could run any type of mirror you want, whether it's, so the mirrors I had before was M Racing, which is a popular between Honda people now. But yeah, you could use it for that. But you know, so this is all fiberglass too that I make in-house.
Wow.
No armrest too, that's another thing that no one has.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
For me, it's a good thing because now that I lowered the seat, actually my arm actually works on it. I'd be up here otherwise, you know.
So. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Very nice.
It's really fun.
It's a very nice car, very fun, and it's still luxurious, you know.
Yeah, it cruises well. We'll see what I'll get new coilovers and I'll go up 2 kilograms on each wheel, and we'll see how that feels. But overall, I mean, I think this car needs a little bit stiffness unless we're taking the track. Just a little more, you know, stiffer springs. But otherwise, yeah, it's kind of where I want it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't blame you why you like this car a lot, you know.
It's so
17-year-old driving this car? Jeez.
I know. I was like, I remember
so lucky.
When I learned about the E-Shift, I felt, oh, jeez, man. I mean,
you're like, I have a race car.
I was like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, I don't like. It's like, you know, everyone wants a manual, right? Yeah. I was like, oh my god, I can like experience controlling gears without buying a manual. Like, you know,
you don't worry about heels.
I was so grateful. Yeah, you know, I was just so happy, and I'm still happy. It still does what I need to do. And
so you mentioned you bought coilovers as a 17-year-old. Let's talk about what suspension you have now.
So suspension is still the same coilovers.
Really?
Coilovers. But I am changing these coilovers. I actually have them in my room right now. I will be upgrading to Teen Mono Sports, which is their top of the line Teen product. I figured the ends, you know, the dollar's so strong to the yen right now that it was very affordable to get that line of coilover from them. So
this is like the first time I ever hear somebody like talk about the currency and everything. Yeah, no, I was like, okay.
It was, I know, but it made a huge difference. I mean, 30% off the normal price. So
oh wow,
it was probably as much as BC's would cost.
Okay, so that's
but for a little bit nicer product.
That's awesome.
And in terms of, I have sway bars from Hotchkiss, which is a really good brand. They test their stuff and they're really great sway bars. And that's about it. I mean, I'm keeping most stuff stock unless necessary.
These cars handle very nicely, right?
Yeah, you know, when it was stock before I did anything to it, it handled so well, but it had a ton of body roll. At the minimum, I think these cars need like sway bars and good tires.
Okay.
But you know, obviously the coilovers are good for like ride height and adjustability for like corner balancing and stuff.
But overall, it's minimal what you need.
Yeah, overall, I feel like this is all I need. Maybe if I do start taking this to track more, I will maybe look into other arms that if I do need more adjustability. But as of right now, the temperatures on tires don't show that I need it. So we'll see. We'll see how things go.
Gotcha. And then tell us about the wheel and tire setup.
And then the wheels are Eryck Sport RCT 5s.
Beautiful wheel.
Thank you.
Beautiful wheel.
I think these wheels are really cool because they're very. I've only seen these wheels once before, and with the center cap, which is crazy because the center cap you cannot get in America. You have to custom order it from Japan. In fact, Eryck USA does not recognize that cap as an option for this wheel.
What?
Yeah, this wheel is very strange because it's sold as very limited options over in United States, but in Japan, they make this different size of this RCT size for a bunch of different cars.
I love this wheel. Thank God it's not on a T37. Nothing wrong with T37s, but I just want something different, and this is exactly what I mean.
You know what's cool? Maybe some people recognize it. It's very similar to an NT03.
Yes.
Where you have the rib more central relative to the outside of the wheel, like on the NT03. So
I love it. I love this. I love something different like this.
And I love just looking at my car in the reflection of other cars. You know, I gotta say, like, I'm just so happy. You know what I mean? I'm just like, damn, yeah.
Same here. Same here. I look at black cars and I think I'm checking out their car. Now
I'm just looking at my own.
I'm looking at the reflection.
Yeah. So.
If you know type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I love this car, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it feels nimble. You know, it's not too big of a car, but still spacious. I don't feel tight here, and you know, you have all the amenities. You know, AC and electric everything, and it's a great car.
Yeah, it's smooth, and you can hear like it's a little bit louder with the exhaust, but not too bad in here, you know.
Yeah.
So, let's go next one. But yeah, and it just accelerates really well, especially with this like transmission differential. Bad gas mileage though. This car has terrible MPGs.
Well, because you're getting that power out of that, you know.
Yeah.
Small engine.
I'm getting about like 16 maybe, 16, 18.
Damn, that's NA too, huh?
Yeah. You can get upwards to 20, you know, if you're on the freeway a lot, but.
Oh, the back. I felt it.
Feel the torsion.
I felt it.
Trying to get some grip.
Yeah.
Normally, if it was an open diff, the inner wheel would be spinning by now. You know? So.
Wow, it just goes one way. Oh, yep.
Yeah, so.
Oh, this is cool, man. Thank you for this experience. This is a rad car. It's crazy because it's so different from your late 80s Civic. It just goes to show you how technology has advanced, you know?
So one thing about the interior of this car is that it's like, have you noticed how it's very tight?
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing creaks. Yeah. It's just, the only thing, okay, and actually the sunroof does creak a little bit when I have it open. That's about it. But
okay, one thing.
It's like one thing that everything
my
else,
car, the whole thing shakes in second gear. Okay. That's how you know I'm in second gear, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, when I drive it, it just feels very solid, you know? Like, almost like, it feels like a German tank, I guess. It's kind of like the very rugged, and I don't know, it has such a nice, it's a vibe, man. I can't explain
It's a vibe.
It's like, you feel a certain way that I can't explain it. It's this particular model, too. It's not the 02, or I'm sorry, it's not the second generation IS series or the third generation. It's this model for some reason. It's pretty bare bones. So, basically, I only did a couple things.
Bare bones, and the whole interior is there.
Yeah, so
minimal changes.
Everything is there.
Okay.
The only modifications are basically the seat. It's a Recaro SR7.
Beautiful.
The story is that the original seat that comes in this car really hurts my lower back. So the SR7 is way more comfortable than the original seat for me, and it's great for like occasional track and canyon use.
I don't know about that. Let's talk to Lexus. I don't think they would agree with that.
Oh, you know what?
You're saying a bucket seat is more comfortable. They'll be like,
I have to say it
that's
is.
a good reason just to upgrade. Okay, got you.
Yeah. No, it truly is. And
Stick to your story.
Well, also it sits lower too, and so I feel more like in place with this car. You know, I'm 6 foot, so maybe that's the reason why. Yeah. I don't know, you know.
No, and it's great. I really like the black. It matches the interior, gives it a nice classy look, and the interior. This interior is very nice.
Oh, so yeah, a couple things I want to pinpoint. Take a look at that gauge cluster. It is beautiful. There is no car that has a gauge cluster this beautiful. That kind of watch look to it. Mm-hmm. It's just gorgeous. That's why I fell in love with this car. You look at like the second generation IS300 or IS350, and the dashboard is just terrible compared to this car, in my opinion. Okay. It's just gorgeous. And also, I made a little block-off plate that's 3D printed for the mirror, since I don't have like the switch controls anymore for like the power mirrors. So
that's cool. Little details, yeah.
But that's about it. I think I'm gonna get like there's some gauge monitoring I want to do, so like engine temperature and stuff like that. And I'm probably gonna get the Apexi like LED unit. That's like a little screen that has like all like the gauges simulated in there. I'm probably gonna pop that in there. That's the only probably other modification I'm gonna do.
All right, well, let's talk about the power of this beautiful build.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's K-swap, you said?
No, so this is all bone stock. So this car is very externally modified, but with no bite really. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the hood so you can see.
I can just already, I'll be the first one to start commenting, oh, show no go, okay.
Let's take a look. So,
nice.
All right, so this is just how the stock 2JZ look. It is the...
hold on. Before we even start that, that's such a bad flex. How did you have the little stick here? I've never seen that.
Yeah, so yeah, I like modified it to you know, accept the thing. Yeah.
Well, you did that?
Yeah, I just kind of drilled some holes, and then Charge Speed looks like they kind of intended it, but it wasn't like really done right. So I went ahead.
No, we're not gonna bypass that. This is
yeah, we keep it. So yeah, like I modified the original one from my previous hood and like
what in the world
to keep it like factory. Yeah,
I like
and
that.
And I also even got the sprayers like kind of tucked up in there and going up, so that actually functions too.
Attention to detail. That's such a flex move. I really like that. I was like, wait, where did that come from? That's cool. I like that.
So yeah, unfortunately I had to cut up the hood for like the hood fins and all that, but whatever.
All right, I'm so sorry to cut you off. Okay,
no problem.
So what are we staring at?
Yeah, so it's a naturally aspirated 2JZ motor. This is the GE variant. So it's the non-turbo variant that came from, you know, like the Supra and whatnot. That's what everyone, you know, makes it more popular. Yeah, it makes about 200 horsepower, and the transmission is a A650E automatic transmission. That's a 5-speed. So this car only came as a automatic, as an 01. So yeah, that's kind of the drivetrain that I have. But the automatic transmission is actually still pretty good, despite the manual being more desirable.
Right.
And yeah, I haven't done any modifications to it, but I do have some things in mind. So other than this stupid little sock and this is pretty cool, the gritty cap, that's all I've really done. And the K&N filter, but that's not really relevant. And I'm probably gonna do like a cash can setup that I'll custom make. I have some ideas on that and a couple other things, but I wanna keep it stock, I wanna keep it reliable. The power's good enough for what I'm doing. I also wanna keep it carb legal, which was an issue with my CRX. So I wanna just keep it that way, it's reliable, it works. So why not stick with it, you know what I mean?
But Ambro gonna fix it.
Yeah.
How many miles does the motor have?
This one has 120,000, actually, around the dot.
120, wow.
Just hit 120, yeah.
And Lexus is super reliable. I mean, I see a lot of Lexuses out there that are like 200, 300,000 miles.
So if you guys know Arthur, his hit like 400,000 or something like that.
On stock everything?
Yeah.
Transmission?
Yeah, he had a white one of these and hit it. Yeah, I know a lot of people hitting 300,000 miles, like no problem with these cars, as long as they're taken care of.
Yeah. Oil changes, maintenance.
Yeah, crazy, which is nuts. And like, who would have thought, you know? And these cars are holding a value because of that.
And they're fast. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you would think that, okay, you know, I think we saw that with the Acura CL or TLs, the 6 cylinders, and the Accords as well. Transmissions were just going out, you know. But these cars don't have that issue. They're made to last.
They're excellent, and the transmissions, as the automatic, is way more reliable than the manual in terms of durability too, which is good.
Well, the way you drive it too, you know.
And yeah.
But honestly, I think just looking at this, it seems very intimidating to want to work on this car.
You know what? It's not bad. It's intimidating because the intake manifold goes over the top of the valve cover. So that's really annoying because you have to take the intake manifold off to do any type of like ignition maintenance. But it's not that bad. You know, if you're mechanically inclined, it's gonna be no problem. I've done all the work on this motor by myself. So, and yeah, it takes a little bit of extra time, but it's not any more difficult than any other like luxury car, honestly. It's not too bad. It looks tight, but it's actually not bad. Unfortunately, you have to take off the radiator to do most stuff, but you know, whatever.
You have to do most stuff. Well, I mean, the K series would give you a lot of room.
It would probably end right here, which is like crazy. So it'd be a cool swap, believe me. That would be something that would be really cool. Yeah.
I like the way you have it though.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Keep as is, man. Keep as is. This is good. This is reliable. It's good. Don't mess with it.
Thanks.
But it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Yeah, so a couple other things I want to show. So we're kind of like looking at the front end. Real quick, so this is like an Altezza factory grille. So I thought this grille looks really good, but also the headlights, now that we can see it in full. These are actually Altezza headlights from TRD Altezza headlights. I was able to find brand new, which is really cool. Wow. So they're black housing, which is not factory. And it has like a different type of bulb than the OEM one too. But they're non-HID, that's the only, I guess, downgrade. But they fit these fenders, unfortunately. You can't really run the new headlights with these fenders. So.
Gotcha. No, I think it looks great, man.
Yeah, and I made a little harness that goes all the way back here that convert. So normally, like I said, there's 2 bulbs that go on the factory one. But since there's only 1 bulb, I took the second bulb and made my own harness to route it all the way to that turn signal. So that's a functioning side marker turn signal too.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's one thing I did too.
Oh. And it looks OEM the way you did it. So.
Yeah. I tried to get like some of this like corrugated stuff to make it look kind of like that, you know. It worked.
Yeah.
So.
Man, beautiful car, man. Just beautiful, beautiful car. I just.
And this car is getting more expensive in Japan with B motors, you know. But yeah, this car is really weird. It's a weird crossover between Altezza and IS300. It's an 01, so it's very weird because the 02s, the 05s are different than the 01s. You know, they only came auto. The engine harness is different. My climate control different. It has different. It's wired differently than 02 and 05. My dashboard is a different color than the rest of the models, which is the more desirable one because it's painted. The other one has like the synthetic rubber stuff that gets really bad over time.
Gotcha.
It's sticky. It doesn't have. It has a nice no navigation here, so that's why it's just blank with like a little like whatever. There's my grandma's things that she put in there, you know, keep her safe. You know, 'cause she's Catholic, so I still kept that in the car.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
The new armrest too. That's another thing that no one has.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
For me, it's a good thing because now that I lowered the seat, my arm actually works on it. I'd be up here otherwise, you know.
So. Okay, gotcha. Before we even start that, that's such a bad flex. How did you have the little stick here? I've never seen that.
Yeah. So I like modified it to you know accept the thing. Yeah.
Well, you did that?
Yeah. I just kind of drilled some holes and then Charge Speed looks like they kind of intended it, but it wasn't like really done right. So I went ahead.
No, we're not gonna bypass that. This is.
Yeah, we keep it. So yeah, like I modified the original one from my previous hood and like.
What in the world?
To keep it like factory. Yeah.
I like that.
And I also
a lot.
even got the sprayers like kind of tucked up in there and going up, so that actually functions too.
Attention to detail. That's such a flex move. I really like that. I was like, wait, where did that come from? That's cool. I like that.
So yeah, unfortunately I had to cut up the hood for like the hood fins and all that, but whatever.
All right, I'm so sorry to cut you off. Okay,
no problem.
So what are we staring at?
Yeah, so it's a naturally aspirated 2JZ motor. This is the GE variant. So it's the non-turbo variant that came from, you know, like the Supra and whatnot. That's what everyone, you know, makes it more popular. Yeah, it makes about 200 horsepower, and the transmission is a A650E automatic transmission. That's a 5-speed. So this car only came as a automatic, as an 01. So yeah, that's kind of the drivetrain that I have. But the automatic transmission is actually still pretty good, despite the manual being more desirable.
Right.
And yeah, I haven't done any modifications to it, but I do have some things in mind. So other than this stupid little sock and this is pretty cool, the gritty cap, that's all I've really done. And the K&N filter, but that's not really relevant. And I'm probably going to do like a cash can setup that I'll custom make. I have some ideas on that and a couple other things, but I want to keep it stock. I want to keep it reliable. The power is good enough for what I'm doing. I also want to keep it carb legal, which was an issue with my CRX. So I want to just keep it that way. It's reliable. It works. So why not stick with it? You know what I mean?
But ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
How many miles does the motor have?
This one has 120,000 actually on the dot.
120, wow.
Just hit 120, yeah.
And Lexus is super reliable. I mean, I see a lot of Lexuses out there that are like 200, 300,000 miles.
So if you guys know Arthur, his hit like 400,000 or something like that.
On stock everything?
Yeah.
Transmission?
Yeah, he had a white one of these and hit it. Yeah, I know a lot of people hitting 300,000 miles, like no problem with these cars, as long as they're taken care of.
Yeah. Oil changes, maintenance.
Yeah, crazy, which is nuts. And like, who would have thought, you know? And these cars are holding a value because of that.
And they're fast. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you would think that, okay, you know, I think we saw that with the Acura CL or TLs, the 6 cylinders, and the Accords as well. Transmissions were just going out, you know. But these cars don't have that issue. They're made to last.
They're excellent, and the transmissions, as the automatic, is way more reliable than the manual in terms of durability too, which is good.
It's the way you drive it too, you know.
And yeah.
But honestly, I think just looking at this, it seems very intimidating to want to work on this car.
You know what? It's not bad. It's intimidating because the intake manifold goes over the top of the valve cover. So that's really annoying because you have to take the intake manifold off to do any type of like ignition maintenance. But it's not that bad. You know, if you're mechanically inclined, it's going to be no problem. I've done all the work on this motor by myself. So, and yeah, it takes a little bit of extra time, but it's not any more difficult than any other like luxury car, honestly. It's not too bad. It looks tight, but it's actually not bad. Unfortunately, you have to take off the radiator to do most stuff, but you know, whatever.
You have to radiator to do most stuff. Well, I mean, the K series would give you a lot of room.
It would probably end right here, which is like crazy. So it'd be a cool swap, believe me. That would be something that would be really cool. Yeah.
I like the way you have it though.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Keep as is, man. Keep as is. This is good. This is reliable. It's good. Don't mess with it.
Thanks.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Yeah, so a couple other things I want to show. So we're kind of like looking at the front end. Real quick, so this is like an Altezza factory grille. So I thought this grille looks really good, but also the headlights, now that we can see it in full, these are actually Altezza headlights from TRD Altezza headlights. I was able to find brand new, which is really cool.
Wow.
So they're black housing, which is not factory. And it has like a different type of bulb than the OEM one too. But they're non-HID, that's the only, I guess, downgrade. But they fit these fenders, unfortunately. You can't really run the new headlights with these fenders, so.
Gotcha. No, I think it looks great, man.
Yeah, and I made a little harness that goes all the way back here that convert. So normally, like I said, there's 2 bulbs that go on the factory one. Since there's only 1 bulb, I took the second bulb and made my own harness to route it all the way to that turn signal. So that's a functioning side marker turn signal too.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's one thing I did too.
Oh. And it looks OEM the way you did it.
So. Yeah. I tried to get like some of this like corrugated stuff to make it look kind of like that, you know. It worked.
Yeah.
So.
Man, beautiful car, man. Just beautiful, beautiful car. I just love what you're doing to it, and yeah, keep as is, man. Keep it reliable.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So one thing also mentioned too. So yeah, the transmission stock, but the differential is really cool. It's actually right out of a FRS, plug and play. So this original car comes with a 3.9 ratio differential. It was an open differential, and if you buy the FRS or BRZ diff from like the 2012 to like 16 or something like that, it's literally plug and play. I literally just dropped it, took the FRS diff, put it right up, no problems.
And what's the specs on those?
And what you get out of that is a torsion LSD, and you get a 4.1 diff, so you get a little more acceleration out of that. So way huge upgrade, and it made a big difference on this car, I thought.
And it comes with the LSD.
Yeah, which is huge. And this car really needs an LSD in my opinion. Yeah, it didn't drive well with the open diff, I have to be honest. Okay. With the LSD, the car feels way more, it's just way more dynamic. It's just way better. It's just so much better. So
just careful on a rainy day.
Oh no, it's honestly, the open diff was scary on a rainy day because it would like snap oversteer and stuff. It was weird.
It was weird. Now you know exactly where the car's gonna go.
It was very strange.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
So yeah, everything, that's it. And I still have the engine cover, basically, you know, keep rain out, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much leave it like this, unless I come up with another, you know, idea. So.
We love it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you save a lot of weight on that hood. That hood looks.
Oh yeah, the hood was so heavy stock, man. I forgot how much they weighed. Like maybe felt like 50 pounds or something like that. But this weighs significantly less, and it's only fiberglass. It's not like carbon or anything. But just that alone made a huge difference.
Wow.
And
all right. Well, let's finish it for the shout outs. So let's just have you stand by your car again.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right. 3, 2, and 1. All right, Eryck, thank you so much for making time for us for a second time, man. This is cool. I told you, I really like these cars.
Thank you.
I think that they're very good looking cars. They remind me of like the TSX, that odd generation that, you know, it's great for racing. It's great for, you know, just out and about, you know, dinner type of thing. Yeah. They're aging like fine wine. And surprisingly, this car and the TSX have somewhat of you know, some automotive support for the enthusiasts.
I would say, yeah,
it's a great car.
I would say it's very similar in its class. Yeah, it's a great car. Yeah, I love it a lot. What's really cool is that it has a ton of racing pedigree in Japan. You know, through the Altezza that was sold over there. And
you said that was for grip, right?
Yeah, and this car was really gripped a lot. Gotcha. Everyone here does drifting in this car. Because it's rear-wheel drive, and so we don't have many options here in America. But in Japan, you know, they chose to use other options. This car, they had a one-make series actually for this car, and I can show you later. I have some Hyper Rev magazines that show all of, like, the racing pedigree that this car has behind it. It's really cool, and I want to continue that. I really want to track this car and basically show, hey, cars like this deserve to be on a road course. Drifting is cool, but like, there's nothing cooler than a fast daily driver that you could take to the track, drive fast, and kind of what it was intended for, you know?
Yeah, so definitely, man. Any shout outs, man?
Yeah, you know, shout outs to all the friends that helped me. You know, I have Deacon and Sakuma. They come over every day and help fit the body kit and stuff. And, you know, my grandma, of course. You know, for, yeah, so
she was ahead of the game. She knew something about these cars.
If it wasn't for her, let's be honest, like, who knows where my life would be heading, you know? But yeah, shout outs, you know, to my parents, and you know, And shout out actually to the company I work for. You know, I was able to work overtime and actually pay for a lot of this stuff. You know,
That's cool.
I worked really hard to build this car, and I'm fortunate to have a job that let me, you know, kind of push a little bit so I could, you know, pay for these things, because
awesome.
it wasn't cheap, you know, of course.
Yeah, nothing's ever cheap.
You know, yeah, especially bodywork. It's outrageous, you know, after you do paint and all that. So,
Well, Eryck, thank you so much, man, for the time. Thank you for bringing out a second build. Definitely appreciate the energy. I appreciate the enthusiasm towards, you know, cars in general. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see this at the track and at your local coffee shop too. So
yeah, I'll be definitely taking it out, and I might even take it to some VTech Club events. You know, be a little bit of an imposter over there. You know?
I don't know. Maybe it's time for that case swap. I'm telling you. Then you won't be imposter.
Yeah, then I can actually compete, right?
That'll be imposter syndrome. I appreciate the time, man.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.